Welcome to the commentary position, KB.
Thanks, Jared, and also welcome to Lee. I agree with Lee. They're an amazing side, the Fremantle Dockers. Just never know what to expect with their brilliant play. They've got the kickers, the Chisholms, the Abrahams and the Durkays. They can just play magic football, but just not consistent enough. Callaghan has the kick smothered inside the centre square. Williams, the Diesel, quick kick out, and it's been marked by Chisholm. So welcome back into the side to Scotty Chisholm. He's an outstanding player. Here's Milhana against Toya. Paddles the ball long in front. He's played many games this year. Mill just playing his 6th game for the season. Earl Sporting is a big plus for the Blues. Back to Bradley. One of their stars down towards the half-forward line. Ground level. Callaghan with quick hands. Back to Jones. Kicks the ball back to 50. Backing back is Brown. Bit of breeze carried down that end. Manton gives the ball off to Silvani with quick hands to Christou. And the Blues are out of trouble. The kick's a shocker. Ratton, the playmaker for the Blues, gives it up to Wills. The ex-Cat pumps the ball back. Chance for Brown. Can he get there in time? He does. So a very promising start by Fremantle, Lee.
Well, they have. I mean, it's funny, you get that impression of attitude in the first minute of a game, and Carlton hasn't looked that vibrant in this first very early part. And Fremantle have certainly made the running, haven't they, in this first, minute of the game?
Brown from just 25 metres out. And that's a great start for the Dockers.
Yes, a goal to number 18, Michael Brown. He's a player that keeps on improving each time you see him. And a pretty good start, Lee.
And yeah, starting at centre-half forward, and Glenn Mountain is in fact playing centre-half back virtually. Peter Mann is playing much deeper, virtually as an extra full forward line player, and Michael Sexton has gone back with him, which is just possibly part of the reason why Mann is back there, I think, to drag Sexton out of the true centre-half back position.
Back in the middle of the ground with Matthew Allen and Jeffrey White. White with a huge spring. Let's see if he can get hold of one this time. Up he goes, hits Allen on the head, but Williams comes through. That's his specialty. Gets a handball to Hickmont. Hickmont too slow with a kick. Picked up now by Koutafidis. Gets it to Bradley. Over to Allen. Onto the left foot, looking for Christou. Ratton. Leach Callaghan in the race for the ball. Could possibly have got a free kick, Callaghan. Isn't he having a fine year? Very good player last week, Kevin.
Yes, he's an interesting player. He was a Norwich Rising Star nominee last year, and just one of their promising young players, as we see White versus Allen, taken by Ratton to Bradley. Tremendous on ball brigade, the Blues. Gleeson overruns the ball. Hickmott, who's been great this year, to Williams. Already had his 3rd touch, taken by Clement. Happy to head towards the boundary line. So a boundary throw in on the half-forward flank for the Blues. Scott Camporiali, just in his 2nd season of AFL football. Played in the premiership in his 1st year. White kicked 4 goals last week against Sydney. Jeff White, number 34 for Fremantle. Taken away by Hickmott. Quick step. He's kicked it.
It's one of those areas of the game where Carlton are very dangerous. Those boundary throw-ins inside the forward 50 around the forward pocket there, and Earl Sporting's taken this one, and just the body use really. It might have fallen luckily to Hickmott, but he was on the move through the contest, and once the ball fell into his arms, he had that 2 or 3 yard gap, and the time to finish.
Bounce down. White got the tap down to Williams. It's now just been rugby scrum forward. Toya gets it to kick it. He's dragged down by Camporelli. Could well have been paid a free kick. Good smother there by Murphy. Through comes Hannah, gets it to Ratton. He's tackled once again by Norrish, having a good couple of weeks, Norrish. The free kick has been given away, and Brett Ratton will come up with it. I think it was for being taken a little bit high. Best and fairest winner Brett Ratton last season gets the ball onto Matthew Allen, having a good start to the game. A low trajectory kick finds Dale Kickett, who is a very exciting player. Despite having played for 5 clubs, an AFL record, he really has settled down with the Dockers. White gets the ball to O'Reilly. The running O'Reilly. kicks it now to James Clement, and he's prepared to take a bounce. Goes into the middle of the ground where he finds McGovern. McGovern, the ex-Melbourne player, drives them long, looking at the back of the pack for Hunter. He's touched it, and it's just picked up nicely. Handballed onto McKay now. Koutafidis with great strength. Takes the mark. Handball wasn't great. McKay slips through. Wills, quick hands. Gets the ball now to Parker. Shane Parker lines up and should convert, and he does. 2 goals now to the Fremantle Dockers. And what is an excellent start against last year's premiers.
And Parker been given one of the more unenviable jobs in football, opposing Koutafidis on the wing, need to play with a bit of height, and really Koutafidis took the mark, but fairly sloppy handball really, and went through, as I said before, Mackay, you can't play league football every couple of weeks in my opinion. Ball handling has to suffer. Mackay made the fumble, and a couple of change of hand passes, and all of a sudden another goal to Fremantle.
Parker was an outstanding player last week for Fremantle against Sydney. Played on Troy Luff for a period of the game, booted a couple of goals and got votes on Channel 7's Sports World. So Shane Parker, the big job on Anthony Koutafidis. Fremantle, 2 straight goals, 12 points lead. Carlton 1 goal, 6. Williams has just been dominant out of the centre square. Camporiale, quick snap inside 50, has been marked by Justin Murphy.
I think every centre bounce we've seen Greg Williams as his trademark, coming from defence, running hard through the contest, and a couple of times even Jeff White got first hands on the ball, but Williams was the one who bars it forward, and really the quick kick, man in front, dropped into his arms, Justin Murphy.
He's kicked 4 goals for the season since crossing over from Richmond. Justin Murphy, 45 metres out. He's off target, minor score. Handy pickup for Carlton. Had a tremendous reputation as a young player. Picked up very early in the draft by Richmond. Justin Murphy, so he gets his second chance at it. Chisholm goes short to Parker. Loose players for the Dockers. So slack defensive work by Carlton. Norrish can set it up. Running through the ground is O'Reilly. Kicks the ball deep inside 50. Backing back at the back was Kingsley Hunter, but a good mark by Manton.
Yes, good start to the quarter by Manton. He goes wide and finds the bald-headed Mil Hanna. Gets it onto Christou. Favours his left side. Drives the ball long against the wind. Keeps the ball wide. Picked up by Kickett to Jeff White, having a good start to the game. Kickett looking for Chisholm. Chisholm couldn't take, and through comes Christou, showing a bit of form. He was on the bench a few weeks ago, and he's got the message. Over to Earl Spalding. He gets rapturous applause from the Carlton faithful here. He gets it to Delulio. The kick wasn't great. Kernahan was good enough with the hands. Over to Spalding, back to Delulio. He cuts wide, he's poleaxed by his own man, Spalding. Kernahan throws himself in there. Spalding goes again. Finally, it's Kickett. He looks around. No, it's Durkay. Durkay with a quick kick round the corner. This time coming out is Winston Abraham, who takes the mark for the Dockers.
The excitement machine kicks inside 50. Hunter was his target. Silvani too good. Carlton on the rebound. Diulio, half-back flank. Spalding's first game back, pretty keen to get into the action, even knocking over his own men. Ratton. Scott Muir as his opponent. McKay keeps the ball in. Ratton got 2 to beat. Ball up on centre wing. Handy start by Fremantle. 2 goals, 12 points. Carlton 1-1-7. Allen. He's got the job from Justin Madden to secure his place in the side. Koutafidis receives from Ratton. Goes short to Hickmott. He's got him. Feeds it off to Bradley. He'll have a long shot from the pocket. Great kick, Craig Bradley. Carlton hit the front by a point.
It's a fantastic skill of the game, and one that Craig Bradley's so good at, running hard with the ball but still being able to balance and kick the ball accurately. He had didn't have a lot of goal open to him. Had a look for the centre, it wasn't on, but still had fantastic balance on the run. Lovely time, accurate kick.
Ball back in the middle with umpire Callaghan. Once again, it was Williams getting the ball forward. This time now it's Bradley. Kicks it high into the air. Spalding with courage. Gleeson, quick hands to Hickmott. Hickmott on the left foot. looking for Earl the Pearl once again. The juke round the corner. What a goal! Welcome back to Earl. Well, what a fantastic way to make a comeback after an injury. He's had a pretty good start to the game, Lloyd.
Well, I think so. He's finished off with this goal, but I think you see in the last 2 minutes of play just why he's such a valuable player, Sporting. He's the mobile, sort of running centre-half forward. Got the ball almost up on the back flank, got on the half-forward line, and then was really able to be on the end of that hand pass forward to finish for Carlton.
The Dockers have to work out a system to stop Greg Williams from getting the ball out of the centre square. And his partner in crime in Bradley kicks towards the boundary line. Callaghan can get there first ahead of Ratton. He's got support. Kick it, goes in hard. Over the top of the ball was Muir. Should have got a free kick. Kick it caught high. Muir back to Clement. To Parker. Didn't hit a target. Callaghan driven into the ground. (3-1-19) Carlton. Fremantle 2 goals. Christo in front. Just regaining a bit of touch. All-Australian last year. Not in the same form in '96. Kicks long. Kutafides his mate. Very strong overhead. Williams falls over the critical moment. This can set it up. Toyer can go over the top inside the centre square. Takes him on. Runs to 50. He's off target and a wasted opportunity.
And that centre back into the centre corridor from Kutafides. It's a good play. It opens up the play, providing you find your teammate. If it goes to the opposition, well, conversely, you're completely opened up quickly into your forward line.
Steve Silvani feigns one way, had Ratton wide, closer to the cameras, but this time he goes to Milhana once again. Hannah looking for Allen. Ball drops into the wind, and it is blowing fairly ferociously here as Toyer picks it up and is happy just to let it tumble over the boundary line as Hannah applied the tackle. Luke Toyer, just 9 AFL games. May well be the first time he's ever been to Optus Oval. First time Fremantle's played here. As Brown and Allen do battle in the ruck. Good work from Brown, gets it down to Toyer. Toyer's to the top of the square. The wind's bringing it down. It could just about float through. No, it's just a behind. So they continue the pepper the goals here, Fremantle, but they trail 2-2 to Carlton's 3-1.
Sexton finds Bradley. So some slack checking also from the Dockers. As Bradley goes wide. Hannah. Happy to see the ball go over. Luke Toyer on screen. Originally from Kalgoorlie. Milhana has had an interrupted season, just playing his 6th game today. Currently 15 degrees, and that's the expected top. Free kick to the Dockers. Carlton fans don't like it, and it's Jeff White. So the #1 draft pick of 1994 kicks long, deep into the forward line. Brown's there. Also Peter Mann at the back. Kicked off the ground by Wills. Silvani gets around Abraham. Gets plenty of support from Ange Christou, starting to pick up some kicks. Kicks wide. Beats Milhana over the line. Ange Christou already with 5 kicks and 2 marks. Milhana on screen. Just trying to find some form after missing the opening half of the season after injuring his leg in a practice game in Tasmania. Gleeson, quick hands to Ratton. Very strong midfield, the Blues. DiIulio breaks the tackle, kicks back towards Williams, got a shove out there from Callaghan. Hickmott pounced on it. Back to Bradley. Already having an influence. Gleeson showed courage going backwards. Kick it. Will clean up across half-back.
Yes, he gets the ball to Norris, takes it nicely with one hand. Over to kick it, the 1-2, good for the stat sheet. At the back of the pack was Manton. He went for the fly and took it pretty well. Then Manton, premiership player now with Carlton. After spending most of his career with Essendon, he certainly has matured as a fine backman. There was a replay, it was just all jump. As Kutafides barges through the big frame, Gleeson knocks the ball off the ground. Williams with quick hands, gets it to Murphy. Murphy stabs one low underneath the wind. Kernahan couldn't control it, but Hickmott gives support. Back comes Kernahan, left hand onto Murphy. Going wide, Murphy to Scott Camporeale. Goal to Carlton. Carlton now with a pretty handy lead, kicking into the win, 4-1-25 to Fremantle, 2-2 14.
Good forward work by Carlton. It's amazing. The Dockers normally run the ball forward, but with the wind, they've been a bit inclined to kick the ball long and high, and the Carlton defence thrive on that kind of play. Silvani and Manton, and that's how the rebound came. And once Carlton came through midfield, Williams to Murphy, and then Camporeale was the eventual finisher.
Last week against Sydney, Lee, they had a lot of success kicking the ball deep into the forward line. They had those two marking options in Jeff White down there along with Kingsley Hunter, and they booted 7 goals between them. Maybe they just feel that they've got to kick the ball more than run it.
Yes, I think you kick the ball long and high into the Carlton defence, you'll get beaten.
And a great lump jump there by Murphy. Couldn't take it. Hickmott at ground level gets the ball out to Camporeale. Skillful on the ground. Ratton over the top. Tied up by Chisholm.
The other interesting part of this game, it appears that the Dockers have virtually gone man on man in the midfield. Muir's got Ratton, Norrish on Bradley, Callaghan on Williams, and McGovern on Gleeson, and they're just basically, following them on and off the ball, Williams and Gleeson.
Blues by 11 points, punched away there by Christou from Abraham. Bradley picking up possessions to Allen. Kicks back Camporeale, good spoil by Jeff White. Started in the ruck. Camporeale over the top. McGovern wants the free. Parker ducks the head. Jones relieves the pressure for the Dockers. Kicks back and Big Allen takes the grab. Feeds it off to Christou. Gets the woof from the crowd. Kicks deep. Kernahan's the target. Punched away by O'Reilly. Chisholm, the crummer. The kick favours Christou. Inside the square, he can set it up looking for Spalding. Camporeale at ground level. Great vision by Spalding. He'll find Murphy. Great play coming across there. Stephen O'Reilly read it well. Fists it over the line.
Well, just a touch of unawareness there from Justin Murphy. He could have almost got himself killed there because he did relax. He had no awareness whatsoever that O'Reilly was about to come through, and he's lucky he didn't take him out with a punch. Koutafidis brings the ball to the ground. Jones burrowing through. Koutafidis once again, but this time it's the Prince of Pockets. Bringing the ball out. Waits, Borks, and a low kick looking for Mann. Norrish picks up the crumbs. Has a bounce. Going forward. He'll try and run this football. Through the middle of the ground he goes. It's Muir in the centre of the ground. It looked to be a bump ball, but the umpire played a mark. Long kick down there for Hunter. One-on-one battle with Silvani. He'll be good if he can beat him at that area. Silvani once again, great second effort, brings Wills down to the ground. Hannah paddling the ball forward. DeLulio gives support and kicks the ball safely over the boundary line. Let's just have a look at the Silvani incident here as Winston Abraham tries to take him out. Unfortunately for Sauce, he missed. Brown in the front spot, gets it to Allen. Muir, quick hands. Mongrel kick round the corner, brings it forward for the Dockers where Abraham leads Christou in the race. Brown once again to kick the first goal for the Dockers. He's going to come up with a free kick. Did you see much there, Lee?
I think it was a slightly high tackle. It's probably a little bit lucky, Brown. He just ducked into the tackle, but the umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Brown playing just his 6th game of league football. Kicks a long bomb. Mann the flyer from behind. Big pack of players.
Yes, it just looks to me in this early part of the game, the Dockers are falling for the trap of having a wind and thinking you have to kick the ball long. I mean, you still have to direct your kicks, and they are tending to kick the ball sort of long into their forward 50. But as I said, with Silvani and Sexton and players like that on the end of it, very rarely are the Dockers forwards going to be able to mark in those situations. They've got to direct the ball in to have any chance.
So a big chance for the Dockers. McKay and Christou force the ball through for a point.
Gavin Mitchell has come onto the ground for the Dockers for his first run. As Silvani takes the ball out to the Bear. Adrian Gleeson won his spot back in the side a couple of weeks ago. Gets it to Hannah. who's getting a lot of kicks on Toya. Gleeson once again. Underground handball, gets it to White. Murphy laid the tackle, ball went back to Allen. He's also getting better football. Gilbert tackled from behind by Hickmott. Almost paid the free kick. The umpire decides that he'll come in and ball it up. Centre wing, outer side, here at Optus Oval. Carlton 4-1-25 to Fremantle 2-3-15. Jeff White once again was taken too high and will take the free kick. So White with 2 kicks, 1 mark and 2 handballs. And a lot of tap outs having a bit of impact at this first quarter as Peter Mann comes over the back of Ron DeLulio, who with courage stood his ground and took a very courageous mark. Was there a pretty bad injury last night to Craig Trelevin in a pretty similar manner. As DeLulio goes wide. White with the big jump. Couldn't quite control it. Gilbert knocks the ball over the boundary line. So we'll start it again. Centre wing, same spot as a minute ago.
Carlton by 10 points, 4-1-25, Fremantle 2-3-15. Jeff White versus Allen. 2 youngsters still making their way in the game. Bradley to Murphy to Hickmott. Looks for Kernahan. Slips over that critical moment. Taken by O'Reilly. So Wills is on the burst. O'Reilly finds him. Norris is screaming for it on the half-forward flank for the Dockers. So kicking with the breeze, he pops it in the air and finds Brown. Fremantle kicking with maybe a 2 or 3 goal breeze. They trail by 10 points. Brown. It's a poor kick. Just kicks a high one. Abraham. As the ball punched away by Christou. Carlton defence is absolutely superb. Silvani runs the ball over.
Just that slightly smaller ground or the shorter ground, the Carlton midfield and defence can get back. It's amazing how many times the Dockers have had to just kick the ball into the contest.
On 50 for the Dockers, Abraham caught. Thought he heard a whistle. Screws the ball back. Ricochets off McKay for a boundary throw-in. 4 individual goal kickers to Carlton. Hickmott, Spalding, Camporiali and Bradley. Goal kickers for Fremantle, Brown and Parker.
And the Rucks will do battle 30 metres out from the Dockers' goal. They'll need one. Quick kick around the corner by Mitchell. But once again astray. Young fellow just coming on to the ground a couple of minutes ago, getting into the action. They've got to get some goals on the board, the Dockers. They're kicking with perhaps a 3 to 4 goal win as Matt Clappe prepares to enter the arena. That he does now. Ratton off the ground. We'll go down to Dipper because I think there may be an injury problem there as Silvani just chips around the corner to Ange Christou, who's had leather poisoning this quarter. Really is getting back to his best, except for his kicking. One just skewed off the side of the boot. We'll set up young Craig Callaghan. Just about kick it from here, Callaghan. Kicks it up high into the wind, gives himself every opportunity. The front of the pack. It was Winston Abraham, but he couldn't bring it down. The ball once again taken out of bounds. 5 metres around from the point post of the Dockers. Winston Abraham just kicks his boot away. So he'll be stopless for the next couple of minutes as Mann takes the front spot. Hits it to the defensive side. Butters up again. Ball kicked off the ground. And it's almost, Lee, as if this game is in slow motion at present.
Yeah, it is. It's taking a long time to get the ball from A to B. It's probably slightly soft ground, not heavy, but just a little bit soft. Had plenty of rain this week.
And Brett Ratton, Dipper, have you got a report?
Yes, mate. He's come off the ground with what looks like a thigh injury. They've just given him a cup of Panadol and they're just strapping him up now. I'll keep you up to date.
Chance for Callaghan. Great smother by Sexton. Ricochets back to Callaghan. Maybe caught high. Got a ball up some 30 metres out from the Dockers' goal.
Did I hear Dipper say a Panadol for a thigh injury? That's the first for me. There must be a reason for that. We'll have to venture into that and find out.
Put physiotherapists out of business if that fixes them up.
Allen just thumps the ball 20 metres. Norris gets there in time, keeps the ball in, gives it back to Mitchell, does well. Back to make that Durkay, screws the ball around the corner and wasting plenty of opportunities, the Dockers, out of bounds on the full.
Smarties are always one to fix up injuries, but I'm not sure about Panadols.
4-1-25 Carlton, Fremantle 2-4-16. Sexton pumps the ball back to the half-back line. Hannah in front, takes the grab. One of the heroes of Carlton, kicks a poor one, just a floater. Hasn't played much football. Callaghan. Hand pass didn't hit a target. Williams does. Campo-Reale. Mitchell intercepts. Good play by Toyer on hands and knees. It's tough in the clinches. Koutafidis rockets ball back to Campo-Reale. It's off. Wills to Hines. The ball hasn't travelled 5 metres. Another great smother by McKay. Parker. Quick kick. Finds Toyer. Kicks the ball long once more. Kingsley Hunter from behind. Got his hands to it. Picked up by Abraham. The excitement machine. Can he finish it off? Another behind of Fremantle. Winston Abraham. Twice suspended last year and also broke his leg when he fell off the couch. And if you believe that, I'm Michael Johnson.
Interesting setup to defend the kick in. Some of the players, the Dockers players, are playing man-to-man, a couple of zoning, so it's a complete dog's breakfast down there.
Well, Christou's kick found Manton. It was a pretty good one. Manton goes long, pushing it back to Ellen. No free kick. Hannah gets the ball quickly. O'Reilly thumps the ball forward. Campo-Reale has it in front with time to sit. Drop punt forward, looking for Murphy and finds him. Murphy always likes to play on. He's too slow this time. Just gets his kick away. Quick hands there from Clappe, just onto the ground. Goes to Allen, to Koutafidis, back to Murphy. She's pretty hot in there. Good tackle. Dockers win the ball well back. A good turnover as Winston Abraham, without his boot on, kicks the ball to centre half forward. He's looking for Peter Mann, but Sexton grabs hold of Mann this time, and a controversial decision, according to the Blues fans in the outer, will be paid to Peter Mann. 50 metres out from their goal, straight in front.
I think the handful of Guernsey the umpire's seen, they're very conscious. If the sort of Guernsey comes away from the body, they tend to think it obviously is being held.
So Peter Mann from 55 metres gets right under it. It's a great kick, and it's made the distance. He's pretty pleased with that. Good goal.
Yes, I would have thought when you watch the replay, it was really only two players grappling for position. But as I say, the umpires are pretty keen to look if the defender's got hold or either player's got hold of the jumper. And I suppose if we watch this closely, there just might be a little bit of jumper in Sexton's hands, and that was enough for the umpire to pay the free kick.
Carlton by 2 points, just a minute of action left in this first quarter. Bradley out of the centre square. Carlton have been dominant out of the centre square. Spalding gets his fist to the ball. Pounced on by O'Reilly to kick it. They work hard in defence. Finds Chisholm. Loves to run with the ball. Loves to set it up. Kicks wide. That's a magnificent kick. Great vision by Chisholm. Callaghan just needs a kind bounce. Gets one. Kicks back inside 50. And a free kick is being paid down the field. It's being brought back by umpire Dennis Rich.
Now, you're on the rules committee, KB. Wasn't it a 50-metre penalty if it's a deliberate push in the back as a player's kicking? Or was that thought of, but not instituted?
There is a penalty downfield if it's actually before the person kicks the ball. Wills tries to get around McKay. Has to go backwards. It's a great kick. He finds Mitchell, hits him. Lost side of the ball. DiIulio. Williams will clean up to McKay. Good punch away by Wills to Mann. Deep into the forward line. Backing back is Brown. He's got it. And he's a very impressive young player.
Well, they're going to have to be, because the ball has really gone long and high in there quite often, and this is the first time for the quarter Dockers players been able to mark it. I think really the Dockers have to run the ball if they expect their forwards to outmark the Carlton key defenders. I don't think they can do it.
So Brown kicked the first goal of the game and he's hit the post. So a bad end of the quarter for the Dockers. 3-5. They've just changed the scoreboard now, so it's 3-6-24. They trail by 1 point. Carlton 4-1-25. So the start of the second quarter, Carlton 4-1-25, kicking with maybe a 3-goal breeze. Fremantle 3-6-24. So out of the centre square, the Dockers with David Hines back in the side today. Kicks down towards the half-forward line. Ange Christou, just an absolute star for Carlton in the first quarter. Overruns the ball, picked up by Abraham. Good play by Camporiali. Kicks a shocker. Christou, caught. So poor play there by Carlton. Overuse of the ball there by Ange Christou. Let's go down to Dipper.
Jeff White is okay, and Phil Gilbert is on his asthma pump at the moment, so he's having difficulties breathing.
Allen versus man. Camporiali caught. Ball up on centre wing. So it was interestingly in that first quarter with Muir picking up Ratton, Norwich having the job on Bradley, and Callaghan picking up Williams, but none of those moves seem to work, particularly out of the centre square.
No, I don't think so. That's worked out.
Hannah kicks a floater inside 50. Bad bounce there for Kernahan. Chisholm read it brilliantly. Kicks to space looking for O'Reilly, who goes very, very short and finds Parker. So on the half-back flank, he's got the job playing on Anthony Koutafidis. Kicks the ball down to McKay. The ball was touched off the boot. Manton, hands and knees, kick it, burrows in after the ball for Fremantle, and we've got a ball up.
Yes, I think they were playing one-on-one roles around the midfield. Certainly not what I'd call heavy tagging roles. They're certainly trying to run off and get the ball themselves.
Koutafidis gets it to McKay, quick hands, gets it to DeLulio. Camporiali having a good game. Could almost be penalised for not whacking the ball out, but umpire Dennis Rich comes in to effect a bounce. Centre wing here at Optus Oval. Fremantle trailing by just a solitary point as Rich elects to throw the ball up. Parker gets the ball quickly onto the boot, gets it forward. The bounce favours no one. Peter Mann now in hot pursuit of Christou. Gets it to Allen, doing a good job just sitting back, helping the defenders. Brave stuff there by McGovern, who dropped back into the pack, was collected high by Hickmott, and he takes a free kick. Goes up the centre of the ground looking for Hines. Mobile ruckman. He's been in and out of this Dockers side this season. Kicks the ball wide, looking for Peter Mann. Through comes Allen. Could possibly have taken it. Knocks the ball on for Bradley. Bradley does well from a shepherd from Hannah. Spearing drop punt will find Gleeson. Gleeson couldn't control the ball. He ducks back. He's got support and a running player in DeLulio. As a left foot kick looking for Hickmott. Hickmott's shaded out of it by Chisholm, but here comes Murphy onto the left foot. He looked to centre the ball, but it went wide and out of bounds on the full. So a good transfer of play there.
Yes, it's truly a very crowded game. Every time the ball's on one side of the ground, every player is basically on that side of the ground, making a very crowded game. There's not very much in what you'd call position plays, of players keeping out wide and creating a bit of space.
Now the ball's with Hickmott. He's over the top of it. This time the umpire's pretty hot. Comes in and says you weren't trying to get it away. And Derek Humphrey-Smith applies a pretty controversial decision. Handball intercepted, but Norris butters up and gets it again. Through comes Callaghan. Callaghan gets it to Mitchell. He was taken high, Callaghan, but the umpire calls play on. The drop punt isn't a good one. It favours Gary Durkay, whoever is a master around the goals. Look at him go. He wants a goal. Don't be surprised if this goes through. Whoa. He's an absolute genius near the goals, Gary Durkay, and that one was almost one of his best. 3-7 to 4-1.
Silvani bring the ball back into play. The Blues have had no trouble winning possession from the first kick, which is if the Dockers have given the Blues that first option. And that's a shocking kick from Clapham.
I think you're right, Lee. They're trying to go a bit of man-to-man, a bit of zone defence and breaking down everywhere.
That's the trouble. Everyone's got to do it. They started, I think, the zone, and when they went man-to-man, I think half are doing a bit of bump.
Brown has two to beat. Koutafidis too good. Off to Silvani. Christou has picked up a lot of possessions. It was a poor kick, chance for Parker. Back to McGovern. Played 20 games with Sydney McGovern. Very good last week against the Swans. Goes wide to Mitchell, who's come off the interchange bench. Sets it up and finds Peter Mann. Western Ferris winner last year for the Dockers, Peter Mann. The 39 games with North Melbourne as Mitchell sets it up.
And even though this is into the breeze, that stand behind the goals tends to, once you get in fairly close, as long as the kick's kept fairly low and kicked hard, it will normally stay on line.
He's kicked 19 goals for the season. Peter Mann, he's gone across the face of goals. He's forced through for a point.
It's an interesting situation on these kickings. The Dockers, most of them are playing man-to-man, but the Carlton haven't. Oh, they're starting to pull the bunch in now, Carlton, to create the space to run into, but it's a pretty sketchy sort of bunch. Not a lot of discipline in getting it in tight.
Fremantle, 11 scoring shots to Carlton's 5. They only lead by a point, however. As it's Hunter, onto the left foot. Looking for Durkay. He's pushed out by Silvani. It was Abraham. Silvani takes the ball. It's a long kick, but it went nowhere. Quick kick back in reply. Straight back to Silvani. The ball was knocked out of his hands by Abraham. The umpire says a mark. Borderline, but probably there. Stephen Silvani, all-Australian fullback. Gets the ball out to Mann. Mann once again with plenty of time. Not enough pressure from the Dockers forwards. Once again, the kicking from Carlton out of defence is pretty poor, and they're pinpointing passes to Dockers players. This time it was Hines to Gary Durkay. Brown. Durkay just taking his time. It's a pretty crowded forward line now he's looking into. He's probably going to have to just go long with the bomb. That he does. Looking down there for Hunter. Hunter from behind. Punches the ball. Roves it well was McKay. McKay going wide, looking for Williams. I don't think I'd back him in a sprint. Jones taps the ball. Watch out for Williams. Hannah comes in. Jones taps the ball out the back. Nice hands there by Toya. Gets the ball onto Parker. Parker takes 2 bounces. He's going all the way with 3, 4. Looks now for the goals. Draws a man to Michael Brown. He's put him under pressure. Brown gets the ball round to Hunter. And Hunter kick just a minor.
Well, I think that's what the Dockers have to do, to try and run the ball in and through the 50-metre line. As I said before, I don't think they're going to outmark the Carlton defence, but when they run it through, well, that's using their strength.
And Barry Mitchell onto the ground for the first time in nearly 12 months. He replaces Adrian Gleeson. The last time I saw him on an AFL field, KB, he had a lot more hair.
Very much a forgotten man. He's picked up his first possession. You can see by his heavily strapped knees, he's had a lot of problems. Kicks the ball high, Clappe takes the mark. So the former Eagle, member of Carlton's premiership side, his first season with Carlton, kicks down looking here for Spalding. Kickett does well to force it through for a point. Dale Kickett on screen. Second in the best and fairest last year for the Dockers. At his 5th league club, but he's been a mighty player. Playing across half-back. McGovern. (3-9) Fremantle, Carlton 4-2. So the Dockers lead by a point. McGovern goes short to Kickett. It's caught. Loose ball picked up by Mitchell. He's done well since coming off the bench to Parker. Always puts the foot on the accelerator. 2 bounces. He'll run to 50. Kicks long. Kingsley Hunter pushing and shoving with Silvani. Chipping in. Mark's been taken by McKay.
Surprising, Kevin, that they've got Jeff White off the ground after he dominated in the centre in the goal square last week.
Be a handy player with his marking ability. Mitchell trying to set it up. Caught is Parker. Camporeale wants the free. He'll get a ball up. And just asks the question. Parker on screen's got the job on Koutafidis. Mann wins the tap. Shark by Mitchell. Norrish, quick kick back inside 50. Dulio met solidly by Brown. Starting to flex the muscles now. Will's out to man. Fremantle looking the goods. It's a poor kick. They've got Carlton under a lot of pressure, Lee.
Well, they have. It's just a very sort of slow motion, sloppy sort of game at the moment. Basically, it's a mobile pack of players chasing the ball. Again, everybody will be over. And Delulio, wrong spot at the wrong time, I think you'd call that.
He just backed out at the right time, though, I feel, and missed the full collision as the ball comes over the back of the pack. Once again to Dale Kickett. He'll drive it back in. Once again, he tried to evade an opponent, but not to be fooled was Carlton. Williams couldn't take it. Unusual fumble for him. Chisholm kicks the ball up in the air, and the free kick will be turned over here against Callaghan to Greg Williams, and this could well be a very costly one.
They've had an interesting duel, Gerard. Callaghan's had 11 possessions and Greg Williams has had 8.
Long kick from Williams, went very close to the man on the mark. At the back of the pack was Kernahan, just a little nudge out. Good roving from Hickmott. Gets the ball onto Camp Oriali, and once again he rows a very good goal, his second.
I think Callaghan pretty unhappy with the umpire who paid that decision. And so often in those off-the-ball type decisions, the umpire might see the second, third or even fourth thing that happened, but nevertheless the ball was coming forward, and all of a sudden it's down the other end, and then when the long kick from Williams went forward, awareness by Hickmott, who's been very good across half forward for Carlton. Good hand pass to Camporelli, good left foot goal.
Blues back in front by 5 points. Mitchell kicks up the centre half forward, and the hero of Princes Park, Spalding's got it. Big Earl kicks to space. Kernahan does well, traps it. Kicks a high ball, Camp Oriali. Couldn't take the grab. Callaghan kicks the ball back, building the wall is Murphy. Now he'll get the distance. He's a long kick, he's got the breeze behind him. He's kicked 4 goals for the season. He'll be kicking from right on 50. It's a magnificent kick, and he's drilled it.
Has got very good skills, young Justin Murphy. I mean, he's got a little bit of a breeze at his back, but just to kick the ball, lovely timing. Got the ball up, nice straight, just let the breeze carry it through. And very well balanced kick. Really got a nice break now. Carlton 11 points in what's been a fairly scrappy game to this stage.
Yes, 6-2 to 3-9. Inaccurate kicking costing Fremantle. As the umpire puts down a very good bounce. Neither ruckman could take effect. Toya comes through, he's manhandled. Quick hands there from Norrish. Gets the ball over to Jones. Jones takes a bounce but doesn't do it too well. Now the pressure comes from Hickmott. His pace across half forward important. Mitchell off the ground. He was looking for Williams, who copped one high. Camporelli gets around to Spalding. Good pressure there from Kickett. Sees the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in 25 metres out from Carlton's goal.
I want to sometimes say the Dockers players here, and a good kick off the ground by Mitchell. I think Greg was hoping to get a free kick for that one, I suspect, but didn't, and probably shouldn't have.
Spalding at the back, uses the left hand. McGovern underneath, coming through Callaghan. He's very good in and under Callaghan. Continually racks up lots of possessions, and he's going to be a fine player for the Dockers as his career goes on. There's the odds from National Sportsbook. Carlton pretty firm favourites, as you'd expect. Norrish side by side on Bradley. Koutafidis with Mitchell. Through comes Clappe. Goes to Hickmott. Bradley off the ground. Great work, Kickett. Looks for hands. No one there to receive it. Hickmott once again. Just handballing to a voice. Camporelli once again going for his second in a couple of minutes. 3 now to Camporelli. So Carlton with a handy lead now, 7-2-44 to Fremantle 3-9-27.
He really has been an excellent player since coming across from South Australia last year, Camporelli. Playing forward today, normally plays out on a wing. But a third goal from that small half-forward flank position is a great return, only halfway through the second quarter. Very, again, a strappy game. Goals aren't being set up. It's a question of awareness at close quarters to set them up.
Blues led by 1 point at quarter time. Now lead by 17. Chisholm looks for Abraham. He's got pace. He'll take on Christou. Great tackle. Just slips it. Runs to 50. Carries too far for Durkay and through for a point. So 2 behinds to Winston Abraham as we see the Dockers bench. Silvani. Koutafidis is his target. Toya did well. Norrish paddles the ball long in front. Then just throws the ball back towards Toya. Good shepherding allows Mitchell to set it up once more to Norrish. Tries to get around Koutafidis. Once more Toya. Back to Mitchell. The kicks are scrappy old one. Lands in the arms of Mann. Couldn't take control. DiIulio can. Carlton on the rebound. Murphy to Williams and go over the top to Bradley. Over the top to Spalding. Big Earl on 50. Looks for Kernahan. He's got him in his sights. The kick was a poor one, as you can see the shake of the head from Earl Spalding. And a boundary throw-in.
Anthony Koutafidis been shifted off the wing onto the ball, and he's being matched up by Toy or Mitchell, who's very much smaller players, and that's a kick-off target. He's a good one, even though he didn't mark it there a few minutes earlier.
Kernahan to Hickmott. And a ball up 30 metres out from Carlton's goal. Adrian Hickmott played his 50th game of league football for Geelong in the grand final against Carlton. Will he play in a premiership for the Blues? Met heavily there by Norrish. Once more, ball up inside 50. 7-2-44 Carlton. Fremantle 3-10-28. Spalding taps it out to Williams. Quick hands, back to Hickmott. It's a wasted opportunity. Minor score.
Earl Spalding's ruck work in the forward line against Jones, who's a little bit smaller, not really a ruckman at all. I think it's been very dangerous for the Dockers whenever Spalding is contested in that part of the ground against Jones. Carlton seem to have come away with the ball.
I think Adrian Hickmott is a surprise in that he's so dangerous around goals at Carlton.
Well, I think he's done in his time with Geelong. He was pretty dangerous as a half forward as well. He's played as much halfback as anything for Carlton this year, but really it's been a pretty good utility player, isn't he?
A good pickup for Carlton. Andy McGovern prepares to bring the ball back in. I'm sure he won't be in all that much of a hurry. But the umpire will now come in and tell him to kick the ball quickly, and that he does. Goes out wide looking for Norrish. Norrish knocks it away from Murphy. Chisholm and Norrish just jump on the ball, and I think all players pretty happy there to just declare it a neutral situation, the umpire to bounce it up and restart play. Hines over the back of Allen. Quick hands back from Williams, always looking for a free kick. But this time the umpire said he threw the football. Hand was quicker than the eye. Chip kick finds Callaghan. Williams just helping out the umpire with his interpretation. Callaghan finds Mitchell. And this game really has slowed to an absolute halt. Mitchell, he throws one up in the air. He says, everybody have a crack at this one. High flyers from behind was Abraham. Hines underneath the smother. Williams, desperate for a possession, gets the ball forward, but only as far as Hines. Hines with his hand taken. Should have been almost a free kick. Taken too high was DiIulio. He's having a pretty tough day. And he just smothers the football and will finally get up. He might have just well copped one in the middle of the groin there. He'll recover, I'm sure. Allen with the left hand. Quick kick forward by the Dockers. Toya with Hannah. Both players scragging. And this time, The umpire decides it's a Carlton free kick. Free kicks at the present time, 4 to Carlton, 9 to the Dockers.
Milhana directing traffic. Once more, the ball just wobbles off his boot, off the hands of Murphy. Hickmott tried to set it up to Clappe.
Sometimes you suspect we've had a lot of rain in Melbourne. You look at this surface, it looks perfect in a green carpet, but I think it's obviously very soft. Players have trouble with their footing, and I think all things considered, there's a lot of fumbling and poor kicking accordingly.
Well, Milhana in particular has really struggled to make really good clean contact. McKay had it, gives it off to Sexton. Fremantle's tackling's been good. Wills can't beat DiIulio, who sets it up to Murphy. Rockets the hand pass to Sexton. Here come the Blues inside 50. Kernahan's in front. Punched away. Kicked off the ground by Chisholm. Ricochets back to Hickmott. And he's kicked a goal. So he's kicked his second.
I think all the Carlton players across to Barry Mitchell, who set that up with an excellent hand pass to Hickmott. Very popular player. Hasn't been able to play much senior football recently, and I think everyone was pretty happy for him, and he was the one who was able to set up this goal by the quick hands. And Hickmott continues to be very dangerous across that half-forward line for Carlton.
Ball back in the centre here at Optus Oval. Allen with the big leap, but it's Hines with the hand, straight to Williams, who gets it onto Hannah. Hannah driving the ball long for Carlton. But Chisholm ducks back and takes a pretty good mark in front of Barry Mitchell. And off he goes, the prince of back pockets. Sometimes I'm not sure he knows where he's going to finish when he takes off. This time it was with Murphy. Tackle was by Wills. Durkay underneath it. Knocked forward by Parker. Parker looking to get possession. This time Wills knocks the ball forward, but up comes Christou. Christou for kick number 10. Finds Camporeale, who's got a bit of space. Decides to settle back and look for Kernahan. Drives it long in the captain's direction. Big push out from O'Reilly. It was almost a frustrated push, that one, because it was clearly a free kick there.
And probably an unnecessary one. The ball was coming long. Sometimes I think if a player, as in Kernahan's position, sort of slightly leaps early and therefore has got no balance on the ground, it only takes a very slight pressure from behind to have the exaggerated forward movement.
So Stephen Kernahan, for his first goal of the afternoon, nonchalantly goes back and pops it through.
And really 13 scoring shots to Fremantle, but 12 and only 12 to Carlton. But importantly, 9 goals to Carlton, only 3 to Fremantle. And we see it there, and I suppose the umpire's always going to pay that kind of free kick. But as I say again, if the player in front jumps a little early and his feet are off the ground, takes only a very little pressure from behind to exaggerate that forward movement, and the umpires will always react and give him the free kick.
33 goals for the season to Stephen Kernahan. Blues now lead by 29 points. They're led by a point at quarter time. 4 minutes of action left in this second quarter. Jeff White back on the ground. Spent time on the interchange bench. Toya goes short to Brown. Punched away by Christou. Great tackle. Desperate play by Ange. He's been out of form this year. Manton on the bottom of the pack. Earl Sporting coming off. Coming on is Peter Turner. Just playing his first game for the year. Youngster from North Adelaide. McKay back to Manton. Mitchell traps it outside of 50 to Brown. Ball just wobbles off the boot. Kingsley Hunter overruns the ball. DiIulio with pace. They love him at Carlton. Ronnie DiIulio has found a niche in defence. Takes it over.
Yes, Ronnie DiIulio is pretty exciting when he's got the football. 55 AFL games now. We would have been bitterly disappointed on missing out on the premiership last season. But he's got his chance this year. He's played most of the games. It's Jeff White. Gets the best position, but the handball, the tap out, goes straight to Bradley. They're going to have to do better in that area, the Dockers. Through comes Jones. Loves to have a run. Gets the solid bounce in the dry centre wicket area. Good shepherd by Toya. Jones with a long one looking for Brown. Brown couldn't quite get it. McKay ducks back. Jumps over the top of the ball. And a ball up will take place 52 metres out from the Dockers' goal. 29-point lead to Carlton. It's 9-3-57 to 3-10-28. This time it was Mann. Gets it down to Hannah. Coming through was Muir. He's a pretty solid customer, Muir. Norris is wrapped up by McKay. And once again, we'll have a ball up. .40 metres out from the Dockers' goal, directly in front of the Carlton Social Club. Allen doing pretty well, gets the tap out. Abraham couldn't take it, but Koutafidis could. Gets it to Christou. Christou, there's the woof. Kick number 12 to Christou. Well done by Kickett. Got Clappe out of the way. Muir gets it to McGovern and on to Callaghan. Over there was Scott Chisholm. Scott Chisholm now up in the forward line. Quick hands to Bradley. Bradley back to Mitchell, getting some possessions as we know he can, given an opportunity. Nice work there by the Dockers defence. Gets it to Kickett, who goes wide looking for Mitchell.
Mitchell has it on the half-back flank. Fremantle yet to kick a goal in this second term. The Blues have kicked 5. Koutafidis thumps the ball back to 50. Too far for Kernahan. O'Reilly's happy to see it trickle over the line. So in the hands of the trainers for the Dockers is Shane Parker. He's had the job on Koutafidis. Kernahan has kicked 1 goal. Just over a minute of action to go in the second term. Kernahan wins the tap. Mitchell started on the interchange bench. He's been good. He's had 13 possessions. Gives it across to Callaghan. Kicks the ball over the line. Young Toyer on screen. Youngster from Kalgoorlie for the Dockers. Allen versus White. Allen too strong. Wild hand pass to space. Hickmott, clever play to Murphy. Can set it up to Mitchell. Barry Mitchell's kick is a poor one. It's out in the full. Hasn't kicked a goal for a long time in league football. Probably got a shock when he saw the 2 uprights lead.
And that does happen a bit. I mean, obviously you're a bit tense, you're a bit over anxious, and lose balance and composure and make the kicking error. If he'd been playing plenty of football, been kicking plenty of goals, I'm sure that one wouldn't have been too hard.
The ball's with McGovern. He kicks it high up into the wind. Front position important here. The leap of White wasn't good enough. Allen had the front spot. Camporelli is the player to come up with the football. Handballs it to Dennis Rich. And I think he'll throw the ball up here because it's pretty heavy here at Optus Oval. That was Adrian Gleeson on the bench. Quick kick by Parker. He's recovered. Only as far as Clappe. It was quick hands to Hannah. Dummies well. Gets by Mann. Kicks to the top of the square where it's Manton. Over the back was Kernahan. Here's Turner. Look for a handball. Gets it to Mitchell. This time for Barry Mitchell. But wide once again. So another opportunity goes begging for Barry Mitchell, who's got the quintessential widow's peak there for all to see.
So with just seconds remaining in the second quarter, 9-4-58 Carlton. Fremantle 3-10-28. So the Blues by 30 points. Chisholm's kick didn't hit a target. A late goal here for the Blues. Camporelli's booted 3. 35 metres out. He's kicked it. And a bad mistake by the Dockers with only seconds to go. 4 seconds, in fact, in this quarter. And you've got to be careful with these kickouts, Lee.
Well, you do. As soon as you go short and back into the centre corridor, you've got to maintain possession, and it missed the target from Chisholm. He really didn't know quite what to do, where to kick it. You can see he was a bit confused about it all, and once the turnover came, pretty simple goal for Camporelli, 4th for the half.
Once again, a pretty good bounce. White went early, but didn't get his hand on the ball. Through comes Koutafidis. As the siren goes for half-time here at Optus Oval, it's Carlton 10-4-64 to Fremantle 3-10-28.
So the dual Brownlow medalist Greg Williams starts the second half on the interchange bench with the Blues leading 10-4-64. Fremantle 3-10-28. Mitchell started on the bench for the Dockers, has been a good player. Good strong mark by Ronnie DiIulio. Finds Allen inside the centre square. He's now got the mantle as the Blues #1 ruckman. Finds Clappe. Also started on the interchange bench for Carlton. Kernahan on screen has booted a goal. We've seen a lot of floaters into the forward line today. Lee suggested as Kuta feeds with a quick snap. He's dribbled it through. Wonderful start for the Blues. You suggested earlier, Lee, that the ground's probably pretty soft and they just can't get a footing because we've seen a lot of crook kicks.
Well, a lot of bad kicks, a lot of bad ball handling skills for the same matter. Been a lot of fumbles and turnovers, and here really the Docker player fumbled the ball, and really in the flurry, Kuta was able to pick it up, found himself that yard or two clear, and was able to finish to get that important first goal of the quarter to get the ticking over again.
First goal to Carlton. Allen with the left hand, swats it forward. Coming off the line was Clappe. Mitchell underneath it all.
And as we said, Jeff White has started as a dual full forward for the Dockers, and Peter Mann is up at the true centre-half forward position to start this quarter.
So it's David Hines in the ruck for the Dockers. Not a bad bounce from the umpire. Went straight up. Through came Chisholm. Clappe with a quick kick. Once again gets the ball forward. Camporeale, best man on the ground the first half, gets it to Kuta. Superman lines up for his second goal in the term. It's home. So Carlton, 2 quick goals in this opening minute of the third term, and they lead 12-4-76 to Fremantle 3-10-28.
Well, he was pushing forward after that centre bounce. Good handball by Camporeale, and then assessed the options. Kuta drilled the ball low into the wind for the second goal for him and Carlton to really start to put it beyond the Dockers' reach.
And the Blues once more out of the centre square. Spalding. Gives it a Camporeale, but a free kick will go to McGovern. So Kuta has moved into the centre square. He's booted the first 2 goals of this third quarter. Greg Williams on the bench. McGovern has had his hands full with Camporeale, who's booted 4, 3 goals in that second term. Parker caught, had the job on Kuta in the first half. It's all tied up on centre wing.
And young Callaghan, Greg Williams in the first half, who's about 5'8" or 5'9", and now Kuta is about 6'3" and can run like a hare. It's a fair contrast in direct opponent, isn't it, in one game of football?
And it's been a good move because Kuta kicked the first 2 goals. Sexton to Allen, under pressure. Good backup from McKay. Kicks one more, just floats down towards the half-forward line. Parker. It's a hurried kick where Ange Christou stands underneath it. Had a terrific first half. Bowled over. Toya goes short, looking for Brown. Tried to trap it on the half volley. Good tackle by Manton. Silvani. Cool as a cucumber. Sets it up to Hannah. Back to Manton. The strong Carlton defence. Plenty of support for each other. DiIulio chips it back and he finds Hannah.
Hannah kicks the ball in the centre of the ground once again. Kuta getting heaps of the football early in this third term. He goes wide. Looks for Christou. Nonchalantly with the one hand. Onto the left boot. Kicks it long. Looking for Kernahan at centre half forward. Kernahan nudges out Riley. Gleeson with a quick handball. Gets it through now to James Clement. Quick hands on again to O'Reilly. Long kick without looking. Favours Chisholm. Chisholm can run and goal. Takes a bounce. Soft piece of footwork. Lines him up from 35 metres out and misses. So a wasted opportunity there for Scott Chisholm. And the Fremantle Dockers have now kicked 7 points in succession. And really, you just can't miss those ones and expect to win a game of football.
He's an exciting player, Chisholm. Hold 13 votes in 15 games last year, his first in league footy, but he looked to be in 2 minds, Lee, whether to kick the goal or whether to try and pass it off.
Oh, I think so. I just think he's got that soft kicking action, and that's his natural style. On that occasion, he just didn't make contact at all, which is indicative, I suppose, of the skills we've seen for the majority of this game.
Toya looks for man, drops a sitter. Sexton back to Kuta to Christou. Kicks the ball out wide and finds Allen. So Carlton have certainly gone up a cog. They've come out all guns blazing in this third term. Fremantle haven't kicked a goal since the first quarter. 12-4-76 Carlton, 3-11-29 Fremantle. Gleeson, quick hands across to Bradley. Finds Clappe on 50. He's got Murphy loose. Fremantle's last goal came at the 27-minute mark of the first quarter. It was kicked by Peter Mann.
And really the centering the ball, Murphy had pushed into that slot, 25 metres out, and good percentage play by Clappe.
Kicked a goal in the second term. And pops it straight through the centre.
Wasn't a difficult finish by Murphy, but he has got a textbook kicking action, really. The old the taught-in step, all the things that are in the coaching manual. But really, it was Clappe saw him in there, Murphy drifting forward, and really, as I said, wasn't a difficult shot, but he did it well to finish.
Smart punch out of the middle of the square there from Clappe. Gets it onto Murphy. Kicked the last goal, looking for Kernahan. But in front was Phil Gilbert, and he will come up with the football. Well, he's declared a line ball, and Dennis Rich will throw the ball up here to restart play. Kernahan nudges out O'Reilly. Camporeale to Murphy. In goes Mitchell, playing on the wing. Gets it to kick it. The Dockers need to lift all over the field. Camporeale just brushes him out of the way and kicks the ball down, looking for Clappe. He couldn't take it. Clappe butters it up, gets it to O'Reilly. He forces the ball wide and over the boundary line for a boundary throw in, 55 metres out from Carlton's goal.
What is amazing to me in these slightly soft conditions, the Dockers players who are normally quick, in fact, look quite slow, as if they can't get traction in the soft surface.
Well, they were certainly a different combination on Subiaco Oval last week, where they played absolutely stunning football to take Sydney apart.
I was just looking at Anthony Koutafidis, a rare breed of centre man who takes the ruck work from the boundary throw-ins.
Knocked forward there by Hines. Murphy will just trickle this one over the boundary line.
And I think the 3 or 4 centre bouncers we've had this quarter, Allen has actually dominated. I think Carlton be pretty happy to see him doing well in the ruck work, because his rival for the job, Justin Madden, of course, the ruck work's Madden's great strength.
And particularly boundary throw-ins for Justin Madden, but Allen hasn't been embarrassed in any department. Norris picks up the football, gets it over to Hines. Camporeale got one high. Norris once again gets one in the back, over to Jones, scrugs one off, kicks it blindly. Gleeson with courage, running back with the flight of the ball. Taken by Toya. Good hands to Parker. Dispossessed by Koutafidis. Sets up Bradley, who'll go home for goal. Gets it on once again to Ronnie DeLulio. And DeLulio off the back flank puts through another one. Great goal to Ronnie. And Carlton career ahead now, 14-4-88. Good kicking to Fremantle, 3-11-29.
Yeah, it's really one-way traffic now by Carlton. They're winning the ball from the contest. Really, the Dockers can't get clear when they do get possession of the ball. And once again, Koutafidis got that disputed possession. DeLulio pushed up and was able to finish.
Callahan's quick kick out of the centre has been marked by Chisholm. So he'll be kicking from just outside of 50. Mr. Sitter early in this term runs very close to the man on the mark. Got the breeze behind him, so the distance is there, not the accuracy. And Fremantle still yet to kick a goal. Their last came at the 27-minute mark of the first quarter when it was kicked by Peter Mann. It appears that Carlton are repaying the Dockers back in full for breaking that 18-game winning streak in round 3. And the Dockers won by 53 points at Subiaco. Manton kicks a high ball back. Koutafidis up high. It's been the star of this term. He's already booted 2. Allen does the roving. Gets it out wide. Back to Sexton. Here come the Blues once more. Hickmott. Front edge of the centre square. Murphy's on a lead, so's Kernahan. Sticks out in front. Half volley. Feeds it off to Clappe. Kernahan. Rush kick. Centres the ball. Gilbert stands underneath it and takes the free kick. So the former Demon hasn't played that many games with the Dockers. Kicks it out wide. Mitchell to Peter Mann. Can go over the top to Clement. Down from half back. Chisholm's his target. Good punch away by Delilio. Wills pounced on it. Should kick a goal for the Dockers. And he has. Ironic boos and cheers there from the Carlton fans.
Yeah, well, a good finish by Wills, but again, it's amazing. The Dockers here today, Clement brought the ball forward. Again, he kicked it. He had all this space in front of him to run into, and he just didn't charge into that open space, which is something the Dockers normally do, but been missing from their game today. But again, the ball came off hands, and Wills was able to run onto it, and a good finish.
Well, the first goal for Fremantle since the 27-minute mark of the first quarter. So they need to get a couple more in a hurry. As Hines punches the ball wide, but it's Milhana on the end of it. Kicks the ball high, gets caught up in the wind. Big fly was from Hickmott, who brings down a pretty good mark. 50 metres out from goal, he'll look for Kernahan. Just setting it up now, Carlton going long to Koutafidis. Koutafidis across the top of the pack. Round the corner, he'll go it all by himself. Another great goal to Carlton, and 3 in this term to Koutafidis.
And again, really, that's the amazing thing about Koutafidis. He almost took the mark. The ball just didn't quite hold the mark, but the recovery that eventually got the ground level ball, and that ability to jump and still be good on the ground makes Koutafidis such a valuable player.
Despite Greg Williams having 12 possessions in that first half, he was replaced by Koutafidis in the centre, who's booted 3 goals. He sets this one also up out of the centre. Clappe to Spalding. Clappe recovers well. Mitchell paddles the ball along the front, back to Spalding. The Blues, they're killing the Dockers. It's raining goals here at Optus Oval. Earl Spalding back in the side.
And again, forcing it forward, and really just the missed tackles by the Dockers on a couple of occasions here enabled the ball to keep going. Again, the tackle, but the ball came free. And again, the mobility of Spalding at centre half forward is one of those valuable assets that Carlton have.
Good bounce from Dennis Rich, sets it up for both ruckmen. Neither of them got it, but through comes Hines. Quick hands, looking for Mann. From 50 metres out, he goes home to goal. And he's pulled it once again. So another minor score to the Fremantle Dockers. And they're a long way behind at present. 64 points they trail Carlton. Make that 63. 14-13. It's pretty inaccurate kicking league.
Well, yes, they early in the game when they had the chances couldn't make them, and then after that, really the last quarter or so, they just haven't been able to get forward that often.
Well, Silvani to Bradley with 11 kicks and 7 handballs. Another good day at the office for both of those players. And here comes Ange for his 14th woof. Kicks the ball wide. Over the back was Gilbert. Quick hands from Gleeson. Parker couldn't pick it up. Gilbert smothered.
Yeah, we talk. I mean, the Fremantle have kicked 4 goals, 13. I can't remember one sitter they've missed. They've all been points from a long way out. And if you're going to have a lot of shots from the 50-metre line, you're going to kick a lot of behinds.
Parker, left foot, goes forward. Mann, good body work. Well, it wasn't good body work according to Dennis Rich, because he's given away a free kick. Michael Sexton comes up with the ball. It's been pretty effective, Michael Sexton, today, without troubling the stats man all that often. But Phil Gilbert's struggling pretty hard at the present time. Back in the side today.
Sexton has kept Mann to 6 possessions, and I think Mann still is the most capable marking forward consistently for the Dockers, and Sexton has certainly shut him down.
Well, not much happening here at Optus Oval. Carlton have kicked 6 goals in this third term. There's still 9.5 minutes of play remaining. So really it's up to the Dockers to make a contest out of this.
And Koutafidis has booted 3 goals in this quarter. Scott Camporeale has booted 4. Booted 3 goals in the second term, 1 in the first, as it's all tied up once more in centre wing. 17 scoring shots Fremantle to Carlton's 20. Only 3 scoring shots less, but they trail by 63 points. Allen versus Hines. Toya gets it across to Abraham. They're under 50. Goes short, sets it up to Mann. So Peter Mann kicked the Dockers' last goal. That was at the 27-minute mark of the first term.
Really good constructive forward play. At least ran to the 50-metre mark and didn't blaze away. Was able to just to chip the ball across to Mann, have that set shot from probably 30 metres out.
Peter Mann, best and fairest winner last year. He's kicked 19 goals for the season, and they still can't get a goal. So wasted opportunities once more, and there are times even the scoreboard thought that was through. And put it up on the scoreboard when it wasn't a goal. Goes short, finds Scott Camporeale. Just so dominant in that first half. Back to Silvani. So the Blues defence playing keepings off. Hands Christou, return to form today. Out towards Milhana. Overruns the ball. Hines kicks the ball back inside 50. Good punch away by Christou. Fantastic punch away. Sign of strength. Lands where Camporeale receives it from Gleeson. Kernahan's the target. Could have got one high. Kick it to Parker. Chisholm runs it out for the Dockers. Callaghan, he's been a good trier. Battled really hard. That's a great kick, and he finds Winston Abraham. Lead on from Mann. That's been ignored. Jeff White's in the square. Kicks into the man on the mark, so it won't be a mark. Manton heard the call from the umpire. He's happy to take the ball over. So a chance here for the Dockers. White versus Allen. To Mann, couldn't handle it. And once more, ball up. Just 20 metres out from Fremantle's goal.
And Parker, after Koutafidis starting so well, has gone onto the ball to pick up Koutafidis. Again, of course, he started against Koutafidis on the wing.
Once again, a throw up. White versus Allen. McKay picks it up. Goes wide. And goes too wide. Over and out on the full. And a shot at goal for Gary Durkay. Well, he's on a pretty tight angle. You would have to think that he could set up a drop punt out in front of goal and let the wind bring it back, or just go the check side. Looks like the drop punt. A bird's eye view there, the spectators on the fence. Can he squeeze this one through for the Dockers? He's given it plenty of height. He's done it very well. Great goal to Gary Durkay. Well, that was great skill, Lou.
I think it was an exceptionally well thought out goal. As you said, he basically kicked it high out slightly in front of the goals and just allowed the wind up high in front of the goals, but accurate, and just allowed the wind to slightly curve it back. But a really well thought out, well executed goal.
Yes, he's a master in front of the goals, Gary Durkay. Just needs a few more opportunities. The knock forward came from Mitchell. Once again, it's Superman. Round on the right foot, kicks the ball long, looking for Gleeson. But helped over by Scott Chisholm, the prince of back pockets. Once again, the ball at the wrong end of the ground as far as the Dockers are concerned, right in front of the social stand here at Optus Oval. So the Blues, with 6 goals in this third term, have really split this game wide open. And it'll take something unique from the Dockers to make it another contest. Jones gets it onto Chisholm. Chisholm with a bounce. He loves to run. He's the excitement machine, as KB describes him. Comes into the centre of the ground to find Durkee. He just kicked a weak, magnificent goal. All the skills in the world. Durkee onto the left foot. Good exchange. Goes down long, looking for a flyer at the back of the pack. It's all Carlton. McKay over to Christou, and he clears once again through to Mitchell.
Pretty tough to crack this Carlton defence. Mitchell, great to see him back playing league footy. His first game for the year. Finds Milhana. Goes short. Julio beaten this time. Wills outside 50. So White from behind, the high flyer, pounced on at ground level by McKay. He's happy to just force it through from behind.
They're just kicking it forward and hoping, the Dockers now, aren't they? There's not much run or poise in their game at all.
16-4, 100 Carlton. Great kicking. Fremantle 5-15-45. So the same number of scoring shots, yet they trail by 55 points. Kutafides on screen. Been sensational this term. Moved into the centre. And there he is. Speak of the devil. Goes short and finds Mitchell. Kutafides wants it back. Ignored this time by Mitchell. And Jeff White coming off for the Dockers. Hannah. Couldn't take control. Big pack of players on centre wing and a ball up. So Scott Camporiale with 4 goals is Carlton's leading goal kicker. 3 goals to Anthony Kutafides and 2 to Justin Murphy and Earl Spalding and Adrian Hickmott. The multiple goal kickers for the Blues. No multiple goal kicker for Fremantle, just the 5 individual goal scorers. Hickmott's the high flyer. The ball's forced over. 16-4, 100 Carlton. Fremantle 5-15-45, and Earl Spalding sitting on the bench along with Greg Williams, who didn't take his place on the field after the halftime break.
Now I think just a bit of a rest for the weary as Bradley comes bursting through, gets it to Hickmott. Good tackle from behind by Gilbert. And good to see some desperation still left in a few of these Dockers players. They need to take a lead from Gilbert's diving tackle there, because there's a few of them just drop their heads. Goes wide to O'Reilly. The big burly defender takes a run, kicks the ball to centre half forward for the Dockers. Pushed out was Christou, but good enough to take the mark, and he's been one of Carlton's best today after a scintillating first term.
I think it's a good sign for Carlton. I think Christou has had a fairly ordinary year by his standards, and one of the reasons Carlton have not quite been as good.
Well, great mark to Kernahan, but Hickmott got pushed out, and it looks like Carlton has shifted Kernahan down onto the ball. If they had a player that looked a little bit out of form, it probably is Stephen Kernahan, Lee.
Yes, well, O'Reilly's done a good job again, but none of the marking forwards on either side today have been able. The ball, a swirly wind, made it a bit difficult to mark.
Well, all the defenders getting into the action now, with Manton kicking it onto Silvani. Callaghan, probably the Dockers' best player, gets it to Brown. Back to Callaghan. Lots of possessions for the left footer. Good game last week against the Swans. Looks for Muir, couldn't quite take it. Wills in backup. Feigns it very nicely, gets some space. Interesting kick to the centre of the ground. Over the back comes Bradley. Durkee takes the ball. Abraham's at the base. Mitchell once again with the first hands. Gets it to McKay and on to Bradley, and away go the Blues.
Getting there first is Parker. Does well, gets around Diulio. Can feed it off to Brown. He's kicked short. Gleeson. He's got Murphy loose. The kick's a poor one. It's been marked by Callaghan, who's been a terrific player, Lee.
He has been good, yes. Got relieved of the job on Kutafides early in the quarter, but yeah, he's been a good midfielder.
Barry Mitchell with 14 possessions and 4 marks since coming onto the field. Wills has it punched away by Manton. Kick it. Looks for Mann. Couldn't take it on the half volley. Not paid. And a ball up at centre half forward for the Dockers.
Don't know whether I'm used to seeing those Olympic athletes, but every player on the ground seems to be running about 3/4 pace today.
All got to look like Michael Johnson and Dennis Mitchell.
That's what we think is normal.
Well, we might have seen one then in Anthony Kurtafidis. Hannah with a wild hand pass to space. Well done by Hines. But it's all Hannah. The Carlton defence has been superb. Silvani, Manton, Hannah, Christou. Hard to beat. Mitchell picks up another possession. Be just loving his comeback. Down towards centre half forward, Hickmott. What a pick-up he's been for the Blues. Kickett does well against the numbers. Jones. So he's got a loose player wide, and Kingsley Hunter, who's been unsighted, goes short looking for Brown and finds him. So Brown kicked a goal in the first quarter and then hit the post from 10 metres out on the quarter time siren. Just a long bomb, the high flyers Muir. Kurtafidis now doing the roving. Looks like he's got a goal pass at Arnold Schwarzenegger's gym. The ball's forced through for a behind. He's got a magnificent build, Anthony Kurtafidis, hasn't he?
Well, I've seen him hold the football in one hand. I saw those basketballs hold a basketball in one hand. I don't know how they do that. So he's a magnificent athlete, Kurtafidis,
Shaq O'Neal, or Shaq O'Neal, whatever his name is. He's 7'2", weighs 235 pounds. Probably thinks he's got a tennis ball.
Big kick from the Wolf. Gary Durkay at the back of the pack. Likes to use his left foot. Pinpoint pass. Finds Luke Toyer. And he quickly gets it on forward, looking for Winnie Abraham. So we're in slow-mo replay here. The only thing that's missing is the cones, as Carlton continued to run out this training drill. Good mark from Toyer.
And it was the first time that Carlton have gone long out of their kick-ins, and as soon as, of course, Fremantle gained possession, all the Fremantle forwards are basically unmanned.
Not a great day so far for Winston Abraham, just the 6 kicks, but he's kicked himself a goal. Six goals now to Fremantle. It's 6-16 to 16-4.
Yeah, it's been interesting on the Carlton kickoffs. Almost inevitably, Silvani will go short and wide. That was the first time Christou took the kick in, kicked it long, and when Carlton, it kicked to a contest, of course, and once Fremantle got the ball, they've got these players loose in the forward line, but that's the first time for the day that that's happened.
It's only a few seconds to go in this third term. Kicked off the ground by Gleeson as the siren sounds to end the third quarter, with Carlton 16-4-100, Fremantle 6-16-52.
Back at Optus Oval, KB, take it away in the last term.
Well, the Blues still looking for one of those top 2 spots, particularly that second spot. A big percentage will help. 16-4-100, Fremantle 6-16-52. Murphy in hot pursuit. Norrish happy to see the ball go over. Been a handy player, Justin Murphy. Booted a couple of goals, one in the second quarter, one in the third. Just may have found himself a spot on the Carlton forward line. Allen got spoken to pretty sternly by David Parkin at 3/4 time, probably saying, look, this is your big chance, son. Make certain you grab it. Toyer, just a youngster, has battled pretty hard for Fremantle. He finds Winston Abraham. So he's on the edge of the centre square. Kicked a goal in the third term. Kicks a high ball. Mans his target in front. Sexton, he's hard to beat. Silvani over the top. McKay gives it to Silvani, but we've got a ball up inside 50.
It's a fantastic skill in football, spoiling, isn't it? And you know, Silvani and Sexton are so good at just getting their fist in and spoiling the marking contest. You get no easy kicks against those two.
And Big Earl back on the ground. All Sporting, he's booted 2 goals. Greg Williams still on the interchange bench for the Blues. Went off at half-time. Didn't take his place at the start of the third quarter, with Kurtafidis in the centre, who booted 3 goals. Abraham from a long way out. This is a long kick. Distance is there, not the accuracy. And through for yet a minor score for Fremantle. 6-17-53 to Carlton 16-4-100. So they've had more scoring shots, yet they trail by 47 points.
Ange Christou to bring the Blues back into attack. Thumps this one to about 60 metres out. Finds Milhana. Quick hands onto Barry Mitchell. He'll go on to Murphy, and Murphy can take a bounce. Elects to kick it straight to the skipper. Got taken high, Kernahan, but Camporeale round the corner. Another great goal, his 5th. And the Blues away in the 4th term.
He's having a picnic down there, Camporeale. He went up onto the wing later in that 3rd quarter, but it looks like he's back in the forward line at the moment. Justin Murphy got in front, but a good spoil, or probably a little bit high, possibly O'Reilly, but the play on was the call. And Camporeale was in that perfect crumbing position in front of the marking player. Good clean possession and a good finish.
Three goals to Camporeale in the 2nd term, and a good one to start the final term. It's been a scrappy affair all afternoon here at Optus Oval, and more of the same by the looks as Andy McGovern gets himself off the ground. It's pretty soft out there. Matty Allen once again. Quick kick forward by Toya. Milhana having a pretty good game. Gets it on to Silvani. Straight down the middle goes the Blues. Looking for Kernahan. Hasn't been at his best today. Over the back was Kickett. Good handball, good vision. Gets it to O'Reilly. To Norrish. Tries to take on the players. Good tackle by Murphy. And Murphy brought down Toya and will come up with a free kick.
Murphy kicks long in the direction of Kernahan. Got his hands up there, back of the pack, Big Earl. Can he kick his 3rd? He can. Very encouraging comeback by Earl Spalding today.
Well, it's his 3rd goal, but amazingly they've all been ground level goals. He hasn't so much marked the ball and kicked the goals, but it's just that agility. And I think we've said it earlier in the game about Spalding that he is a mobile centre-half forward. Got a bit of height about him, but it's certainly not hopeless at ground level, and that's the great strength and the great attribute that he gives the Carlton team.
The bonus for Carlton today is the fact that Gleeson and Hannah, Mitchell, Spalding have only all played a handful of games this year. So one would think with several more games under their belt that there'll be a big bonus to the Blues coming into the finals. Coming out of the centre square, the Dockers down towards the half-forward line. But there's a good mark by Manton. Gives it across to McKay. He's going to kick the space. So it's Murphy versus Norrish. Norrish wins out. Started the game on Craig Bradley. Kicks down inside 50. Fist away from Sexton. Kingsley Hunter has had an off day. And we've also got a ball up inside 50. Just the 3 kicks today to Kingsley Hunter. Hasn't taken a mark. Hasn't kicked a score. Man, quick kick. This could bounce through. It's bouncing. And it's kicked right on the line there by Parker. So Fremantle have their 7th goal on the board.
Or just a flurry of kicks forward. Callahan, I think it was, or was it Parker? That actually socked it off the ground, who's opposed to Koudafides in a way here. But Carlton actually have used this opportunity to get what I would call maybe their 2nd level on ballers. Gleeson and Mitchell are both on ball at the moment, along with Koudafides. Bradley's been pushed forward, so I think Carlton are given the opportunity to get some on ball running into those 2 players.
And correction there, that was Callahan who kicked that goal lead, not Parker. It was Koudafides with that quick kick out of the centre square. Here come the Blues once more, but a free kick will go to the Dockers in Mitchell.
Yes, you mentioned Hunter kicked 3 goals last week. Jeff White kicked 4, and they haven't got one between them this afternoon. So things have broken down for the Dockers up forward as Toya brings the ball forward. Just kicking and hoping by the looks as the ball's tapped on once again for Hunter. DeLulio has had another pretty good game. Gleeson with too much time. Not enough pressure there. David Hines, been one of the better players for the Dockers, gets the ball forward. Manton bustled out of it by Brown. And Brown has missed from 5 metres out. Well, Lou, we've been saying all day that they haven't missed an easy shot. I think you'd have to say that was one.
Yeah, I think we can certainly put that one into the category. I mean, that's unbelievable. He ran into the open goal from, as you say, 5, 6, 7 metres out.
If there was any excuse, I think he may well have been blocked by his own man. What a great kick from Christou. Straight to his Siamese twin in Superman, who really has turned it on here in the second half. 12 kicks and 9 handballs. He goes looking for Kernahan. O'Reilly digs it out. Long handball, finds Kickett. Kickett with his customary balk and run and bounce. Good chase by Bradley. Pretty difficult to run away from him. McKay turns the ball over to Mitchell. Quick hands. Interception once again by McGovern. Over to Toyer and over to Wills. Wills can't pick the ball up off the turf. Mitchell evades one. Gets a handball onto Hines. Hines gets it over to Hunter. Hunter to Mann. Now surely they'll goal here. From 20 metres out, Peter Mann drills it. His second to Peter Mann. The 8th to Fremantle. They're 8-18, 66.
And hasn't really been
18-4.
Been able to get into the game too much, man. Sexton's had him under fair control, but that's his second goal, and they're coming on early in this quarter. It really has had a look of a game that already players in a way are playing out time, and percentage is so important for Carlton. I think they will be hoping to come home hard.
They went into this side without 7 of their premiership side of last year. Brown and Hogg and Dean, Whitehead, Madden, Pearce and Rice.
Winston Abraham out of the centre square. It's taken on the Blues. Hanna, great chasing. Fantastic chasing by Mill Hanna. And he forces the ball over on the full. That'll bring a smile to David Parkin's face. Sexton pumps the ball back towards the half-back line. Hines was a high flyer. Toyer has got a lot of class. Mitchell paddles the ball along in front. Clement couldn't take it. Manton taps the ball on. Trying to burrow his way through was Gleeson. Silvani to Koutafidis through the centre square. In his sights is his skipper. Couldn't take it. Clappe taps back to Mitchell. Quick hands to Kernahan. And the skipper's kicked a goal. He's kicked 2.
It's amazing how many times that Barry Mitchell has handballed for goals. I think he's had 3 handballs to goals. I can think of that one and Earl Spalding. And I think even the one where they all ran to Mitchell in the 3rd term, lethal. Yeah,
the ground level play of the forwards of the Carlton forward line has been far superior. Certainly Campriali and Hickmott early, and then Mitchell, and second goal to Kernahan, but still yet to take a mark for the entire game.
Carlton's kicking for goal has been quite incredible. They've now kicked 10 goals straight. As Justin Murphy penetrates the Dockers forward line, gets it to Manton, over to McKay, who gets it to the running D'Ulio. Steps back, does the foxtrot. Spears a pass in, but Chisholm was good enough to intercept and take it over the boundary line.
And I think we could get carried away with this Carlton performance, to be honest. I mean, they've kicked 19 goals for, and when you kick so accurately compared to Fremantle so inaccurately, it I think can make the performance long term anyway look much better than it actually is.
Over the back went Allen. Mitchell at ground level again, got taken high, no free kick. Bradley throws the ball to Gleeson. Spalding just knocks it through. Gleeson picks it up again, goes with a torpedo from 60 metres out. Great goal to the Bear. Goals 4 to 8-18.
I think we've seen a bit of the comradeship within the team that both Barry Mitchell and Adrian Gleeson, who have played very little senior football recently, when they've done some good stuff, the Carlton teammates, you can see the joy I think they feel on behalf of those players who are popular teammates who are struggling to play a lot of senior football recently.
13 possessions to Gleeson. He's kicked a goal. Mitchell's also had a terrific game after starting on the interchange bench. He's had 19 possessions and 5 marks. Parker Goes wide. Finds Hines. Chips it out for Gilbert. So Gilbert's kick's been smothered once more by Milhanner. Did that terrific chase before down on Winston Abraham. Now a smother, and it's good stuff.
He's obviously after the Team Skills Award today, Milhanner, I think. The 1%ers.
Gleeson, beaten by Koutafidis. He was sharp to Silvani. Gleeson once more back to Silvani. Inside the centre square, Mitchell. Clever play. Bradley can set it up to Camporelli. He's kicked 5. Number 6 coming up. He's missed.
Trying to think the last time Carlton kicked it behind. They've kicked a fair few straight goals, I would have thought.
It was in round 9. Camporelli.
25-minute mark of the first quarter, Lee.
That was the last time.
Second quarter.
Second quarter.
In round 9.
Almost 2 quarters since they scored it behind. How many straight goals would that have been then in between? 11 straight goals.
McGovern finds Jones, half-back flank. 20 goals, 5, 125 Carlton. Fremantle, 8-18, 66. And this young kid, Toya, has certainly got a future in the game. Abraham out in front to Callaghan. Another youngster with plenty of ability. 21 possessions to Callaghan. Goes short and finds Peter Mann.
They say football's played above the ear, above the shoulders. You would have to reconcile that fact with the thought that Fremantle in round 3 beat Carlton by 53 points.
Well, I think, Lee, you mentioned it before. They've beaten Sydney twice, Carlton and Richmond. They've only won 5 games for the year.
And 3,000 miles over the other side of the continent. I think that helped as well.
I think the dry track is also a big plus for the Dockers.
Absolutely.
As Earl Spalding gets a big round of applause here for his first game back since injuring himself in round 7. Matthew Allen, a very good performer for the Blues in the ruck. The sole hand. Up against a couple, they've thrown Jeff White and David Hines at him. Peter Mann now takes on, goes to the defensive side. Durkay tackled, hasn't got the football. Oh, ball it up. Boys just settling down, and good work by Dennis Rich just to throw it up and get on with play. Julio to Sexton, he was pushing the back. Burrowing through was Durkay, and he comes up with a free kick. They're continually slow into their forward line, the Dockers. And until they get themselves organised inside that forward 50, they're always going to be a side that relies on spontaneity. And that doesn't work too often against the best defence in the AFL. Gary Durkay from just outside 50. It's a pretty good attempt. It'll just drop short. And Matthew Allen stands pretty tall, puts the big tentacles up and takes a good mark.
So Allen trying to cement his spot as the #1 ruckman at Carlton. Place of Justin Madden. Murphy went up early before acceptances. Been paid the mark. There's a good grab, gives it across to Sexton. And young Peter Turner takes the mark. Playing his second game for the year and the 5th of his career for Carlton. McKay takes it from Hickmott. Kernahan once more versus O'Reilly. Fist of O'Reilly. Sees the ball over the line.
What about McKay, Lee? Do you think they'd have to make him come down for the last month?
Well, I think he had a reasonable game today, but I think gradually as the season goes on, he's doing less and less ball handling and with the normal training with the team, and not even playing every weekend. I think gradually we'll see. He fumbled the ball just then at ground level as we just saw on screen. I just think he can't be anywhere near as sure as a player as he would normally be, and getting a month continuity under his belt would be pretty critical, one would think, pre-finals.
Ronnie DiUlio with the ball inside the centre square, kicked a goal from half-back, looks for Manton and spots him. Manton looks for Koutafidis, he's loose, he drops it, his first mistake. Hannah does the shepherding, so he's done a tackle, a smother and a shepherd. He'll win the 1%ers to the goal square. Good mark by Jones. It's handy to have some players, Lee, who haven't played a great deal of football coming into the finals, and Milhan is one of those players who you would expect would get better.
Well, I think that's true, and I think Matthew Allen, I mean, this is the longest I've ever seen him on the ground in any Carlton game, so that's got to be good for him. Not so good for Justin Madden, who's maybe his ruck rival, but you need minutes of football, and Allen's got that today.
Murphy couldn't control it. Mitchell, high kick to nowhere. Mitchell again, tripped. And he'll come up with a free kick. So it's been a pretty good return to form by Barry Mitchell after being out of this Carlton side for almost 12 months. He has picked up plenty of possessions. Looks for Kernan. Off the back of the pack was Gleeson. Will it roll forward? It took an off break when it needed to go as Shane Warne to deliver a leggy. And just another behind. They haven't kicked too many here today, Carlton. 20 goals, 6 to 8-18. The game's all over. It's only a matter of percentage now for Carlton. There's Scott Chisholm. Kicks the ball out in the direction of Toya. Had a pretty good game, Toya. Been a good worker for the Dockers all afternoon. Wills round the corner. Handball to Mann. On to Abraham on the left foot. He's been run down a number of times today, Abraham. Has just lacked a little bit of awareness with the football under pressure.
Silvani gets the ball moving quickly to Ange Christou, who found form in the first quarter. That's a beautiful kick. Finds Camporeale. He's booted 5. Back to 50. And a very clever mark to Bradley. Like Bradley kicked a goal in the first quarter.
I think Bradley had a good look to just see was it his mark or was he in the van, and eventually decided he was best positioned and took the good mark.
And some slack defensive play here by the Dockers. Camporeale then goes to Gleeson. So Gleeson, who kicked the goal in this final term, just playing his 4th game for the season. Should bring up his 2nd goal from 35 metres out. And he's kicked it.
Yes, another good finish. And really, it was very slack marking by the Dockers players in the defensive 50-metre area there. I just had the feeling there was quite a few of the Dockers players weren't exactly sure who their direct opponent was, and Camporeale got clear, Gleeson got clear, and Gleeson kicked the goal.
Big lead here to Carlton as Jeff White gets the ball out to Norrish, bursting off the centre square. Quick hands through the middle of the ground. Mitchell, good dummy. He's run his full 15 metres, kicks the ball long, looking for a big mark, and he found one. But it was Steve Silvani who once again has had a very good afternoon at full-back for Carlton. Quick kick over to Mitchell. Looking for Hannah. Oh, they're just doing it too easily down the Blues. It's been a real rout here at Optus Oval as Hannah looks for Turner, playing his 2nd game for Carlton this season. Round to Durkay, looking to spot a pass. He finds one in Toya, looking for a goal from 45 metres out. He's brought it back with a win. Good goal to Luke Toya. And not a sound.
That's when you know the Dogs have kicked a goal. There's just no crowd noise. I don't think got any supporters here today, but again, Durkay, it was a good finish. I mean, really the kicking skills of the Dockers have got to be precise the way they play the game, but today on the majority of occasions they've missed the target too often. But that was a good accurate kick by Durkay, and Toya thought his way through the 50-metre line there and was a good accurate kick when he had the opportunity.
Shown a lot of ability, 22 possessions. He's taken 8 marks.
Amazing, 27 scoring shots apiece, despite the fact that Carlton are 60 points clear.
Just over 6 minutes of action left in this final term. Allen versus White. Toya has the kick smothered. Mitchell goes to ground. Hick might appeal for the free kick. Sexton, ever reliable. Callahan couldn't get the hand pass away. Toya does. But Norwich, quick hands, back to White. It's a wild hand pass. Manton just weaved his way through. Sexton was dispossessed. Kicked off the ground by Mitchell. Norwich trying to crash his way through. Ricochets back to Turner. Back to Manton. It was like a pinball machine. To Manton once more. Christou finds Bradley. Goes short and finds Gleeson. So terrific play by the Blues. Had the numbers at the ball. Persistence paid off. Gleeson's kick to Kernahan, yet to take a mark. He's got his chance here. He's got the sit on O'Reilly. Murphy's the high flyer. Could have been the crummer. Now he crumbs the ball and misses.
They've done all this without the services of Brett Ratton, their last year's best and fairest winner, who went off in the middle of the first quarter and hasn't reappeared.
And Williams has also sat on the bench, Lee.
Well, he's had a bad knee sort of problem that's troubled him for a couple of years, and apparently it's been a bit sorer the last couple of weeks. So just maybe the opportunity was taken once Carlton got clear to give Williams a short game and hopefully help that knee manage the injury.
Well, he had 12 possessions in the first half before he went off.
Well,
so
Callahan had played well on him, but one would hazard a guess that just maybe, I think it was not so much the way Williams was playing as the fact that it was worth giving that knee
just
short
smiling
game.
on the bench there. He's probably enjoying himself. He's probably just had a scone and a cup of tea.
They've forgotten us today. He did pretty well out of the middle in the first term, Greg Williams.
He was dynamic the first 5 centre bounces.
McGovern found Jones with a new football. The last one's in the construction side if anybody wants one. Who finds Kickett? Interesting kick. Oh, back to McGovern. Murphy almost intercepted, and away he goes McGovern. He has one bounce. Looking forward. Michael Brown on the burst. Great interception by Silvani. Great tackling by the Blues, and they've produced a turnover with a free kick, and it's a bit late for this stuff. But wasn't that a fantastic interception for a spoil by Silvani?
Well, we see it so often. As I said, the Carlton defenders, their ability just to get the fist there, to get the... They don't try and make a big swing at spoiling, just get the fist on the ball, straight arm punch. Very tough to mark against them.
Manton goes long, another 50-metre accurate pass to Bradley, who gives it to Mitchell. Mitchell looks for Camporelli. He didn't take the mark, it was into the sun, but he was pushed out by Mitchell. And he's given away a free kick and will now be shooting for his 6th goal.
Slight push in the back. It's hard to say that was a definite free kick, but the umpire saw it that way, and Camporelli has his chance to kick his 6th goal. 6th goal. Might
have almost tripped himself, I think, Mitchell, and just the momentum pushed Camporelli out. So Scott Camporelli from 45 metres out has drilled another one.
Yes, I think if a full forward kicks, and we said a bit off the play there, I think Brown, Silvani, a bit of frustration there when you're denied the ball for the majority of the game. But when a full forward kicks 6 goals, a fantastic effort. But when you are a flanking type player and you can kick 6 goals, have 23 possessions as Camporelli has, that really is a good day's work.
He's been a great player today, no doubt about that, along with Koutafidis, and Silvani has been just unbeatable at full back. Bradley has worked hard to Hannah. Seems to have got better as the game's gone on. He's done some great 1%ers. Kick goes short to Mann, to Jones. Can go over the top to Parker. Ignores him, goes short. It was a bad option. Bradley, clever. Long raking hand pass to Gleeson. Kicks inside 50. O'Reilly, he was off.
He's had a good game, O'Reilly.
Yeah, the 2 full backs. I mean, 2 of the better ones in the competition, and they've both certainly lived up to that today.
Kernahan yet to take a mark. Mann was put under a lot of pressure. Clappe started on the interchange bench. Holding the ball.
You wonder whether it's because there's a bit of a breeze pushing down to left of screen, but I haven't really seen a full forward really leading hard into space. I mean, most of the balls have been above their head and making it easier for the defenders to spoil.
Gilbert Kicks down towards half-forward line, and there's a typical kick lead that you're speaking about. Kicking just to a pack. D'Ulio, hand pass once more. McKay finds Gleeson. He'll be enjoying the run as well. Allen got in the way of his skipper. Norrish can kick the space. So Toya with a chance. Plenty of room. Sizes up his options. He looks for Kickett. So smack bang in the centre of the ground at Optus Oval. Dale Kickett. Long handball over the top to Muir. Has to kick hurriedly. This will set up Sexton. And a free kick is coming back. Here's Silvani and Brown. They've been at it in this last term for about 5 minutes. Sexton kicks a long bomb. Kernahan's in front. Punched away by O'Reilly. Toya has been just great for the Dockers. Murphy caught. Muir tried to crash his way through. Wills gives it across here to Muir. Loses it. Koutafidis picks it up. Danger here for the Dockers. D'Ulio on the burst. Allen, he's got the set. Too tall. He's got Camporelli, who's booted 6 by himself. He'll run in and kick goal number 7. Great performance by the youngster.
And wasn't that a mismatch when the ball went from D'Ulio to centre half forward when it was marked by Allen? He was opposed to young Callaghan somehow or other. I'm not quite sure how that matchup eventuated. I really think the Dockers, as this game has gone on, have lost real track of exactly who their direct opponent is on a fair few occasions.
Pretty good effort, 7 goals in a game from Scott Camporelli. Be thrilled with that return, as would David Parkin. It's pretty handy when you can go from a wing and down to a half-forward flank and kick a bundle of goals. Callaghan working hard in the middle of the ground, as he has done all day, gets the ball out, going really nowhere. Wills is trying desperately, but through comes McKay, who has got better as the game's gone on. But they're the little mistakes I think you're talking about, Lee, that he just isn't at the absolute peak of his game. Jeff White comes up from the handball. Looks to the middle of the ground. He finds Muir. Kingsley Hunter has been pretty quiet all day. Gets the ball back to Muir. Over to Wills. Should kick one from 40. Under no pressure at all. He's kicked a goal. 2 goals now to Andrew Wills. And it's the 10th goal for the Dockers. 10-18 to 23-7.
Yes, that was a good finish. I mean, it took a couple of... a good tackle by Camporelli set up the turnover, but then the Dockers regained the ball and Wills was able to finish. But really very little spirit. I'm just amazed. There's not a lot of spirit that we can see, that attitudinal thing you look on from the outside amongst the Dockers team. It's very much a playing out the game attitude.
Blues by 77 points. Just 30 seconds to go in the match. Sexton hit hard. Ange Christou return to form today. 22 possession, 8 marks.
And I think that was initiated when Jeff White jumped up at the centre bounce and thumped the ball forward. One, I suppose, would ask the question. He was doing reasonably in the ruck in the first part of the game against Allen, and of course once he went out of the ruck, I think that's part of the stage of the game when Carlton really took over.
Scotty Chisholm from 35 metres out, directly in front, kicks a goal.
Well, it's pretty tough to get a wrap here if you're not playing for the Blues. As we'll have another look at the way that they get this one. Callaghan once again off the ground.
Ange Christou took his time. Didn't know that Chisholm was there, and probably pretty clear holding the ball.
So umpire Keith Callaghan, with 10 seconds to go, will bounce this one in the middle of the ground. It goes straight up, an excellent bounce. Jeff White got first hands to it. Coming through was Muir. He's had a couple of touches in the last few minutes. Parker's been a good worker for the Dockers. Over to Justin Murphy as the siren blows here at Optus Oval. And the two combatants that have waged the personal war in the last 5 minutes shake hands. And it's Carlton, big victors here, 23-7, 145 to the Dockers, 11-18, 84.
Well, this is exactly the opposite. 23-7, fantastic conversion by Carlton. I mean, they probably played well all over the field, but 11-19 to the Dockers. It was very much the team that could score the best when the Dockers had their chance in the first quarter. They kicked inaccurately, and after that, of course, it bolted.
And down on the boundary line, we've got Dipper with the Duke of Earl.
Thank you very much, Jerry. The Duke of Earl. Well, first, congratulations on a great comeback.
Oh, it's good to get through. Yeah, I didn't get too much of the ball, but probably bluffed my way into the side. Told them I was all right, and it was good just to get through. And the guys played pretty well too.
And before the game, were you a bit nervous about the comeback today?
Oh yeah, you always wonder, if it's especially with a knee, it's always hard to get through. It's a matter of getting a knock on it and getting up and realising it's okay. And I got one early and got up and it was okay. So
we've kicked 3 for the days. It's not a bad comeback. Has the knee come up all right after the game?
Not too bad. It'll be a bit sore, but tomorrow I suppose. But it's just good to get through.
Now, it's an important game today for Carlton. It's one of those games you had to win, and we know how well Fremantle played last week.
Yeah, I mean they're an up and down side, and we knew we had to smother them from the start. And the guys had an aim in tackles, and we certainly achieved that in the first half. I'm not sure what the stats were in the second half, but we knew we had to tackle them and chase them from behind, and we did it all day.
Now, Earl, I walked past before you and your teammate Greg Williams had a go at me. Now, Greg, is he all right?
Deals with it. I just having a bit of a rest. He's not any spring chicken anymore. I think he's nearly as old as you, isn't he?
Close to it. Well played, and great to see you back on the field.
Oh, thanks, Dipper.
Thanks, buddy.
Good on you, Dipper. As Ronnie DeLulio leads the Carlton boys up the race here at Optus Oval. Carlton 23-7, 145 to Fremantle Dockers 11-18, 84.
Aussie rules, I thank you for the best years of our lives. All those hazy, crazy young days.